Let's keep it moving here. 307-308. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Actually, we just hit the Cleveland game, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
We hit it.
We hit it. Tampa Bay and now look, Tampa's going into the Dome. Wiped out in the first two games. Tom Brady, hey, rested, ready. We should be able to go. Antonio Brown has been healthy for the season now. Everybody's ingratiated. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the trio is back at wide receiver. Our running back should be in full play. Sign us up for this. And that low line, 3.5 down to 3, as we talked about here. If we look at the ticket count here at SBRodds.com, 55% of the tickets actually coming in on Tampa Bay, not on the New Orleans Saints, who have pasted them twice in a row. And I think some people look last week at the game with the Chicago Bears, even though they won by double digits, even though the game technically should have been like 21-3, but they scored late. I think people are downgrading the Saints last week for just being a smart football team and going, God damn, Mitch is terrible in this game. We don't have to do anything but run the football, run the clock, and get out of here with a victory, which is exactly what they did. This is an elite defense, the New Orleans Saints, with an elite pass rush and a good secondary. The way you beat really good offenses, don't blitz Tom Brady, rush with 4, collapse the pocket, and laugh at him on the back end, which they did twice already. And even at, 38-3, whatever it was in the past game on the road against Tampa Bay, I still can't get over that game. I'm still looking at the previous game before that. You're at home in a dome, which is exactly where you want Drew Brees. What am I missing in this game? Why this line dropped from 3.5 down to 3, and even the over/under? Like, do you picture this game, Kyle, as a shootout? I don't. I don't think that's the MO anymore for New Orleans. I think they play really good defense and ball control offense. I like the under in this game, but I also like the New Orleans Saints.
Yep, we are absolutely on the same page. Look, the formula to beat Tom Brady has not changed since he became Tom Brady, and that is, like you said, pass rush with 4. Put pressure on them. And they also have a great secondary. The Jenkins boys playing really, really well. Of course, Marshawn Lattimore. They're probably the second best defense in the league. You could argue Baltimore, I guess, behind the Rams. And when you look at the New Orleans offense, they have everything you need to beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, terrific against the run. The best run-stuffing defense in the NFL. However, the quick passing game, they do a lot of zone blitzing. Todd Bowles, I don't even understand why he's being interviewed for head coaching jobs. I saw your Eagles maybe were interested in him. I mean, are you kidding me? Did you see what he did? We're bringing Todd Bowles to be the head coach. This Tampa Bay defense has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse as the season has gone on. The first 8 weeks of the season, we're like, hey, this might be the most complete team in the NFC. They got a nice defense. The offense is rolling. That secondary is terrible. They're banged up. Carlton Davis dealing with the groin. They play a ton of zone. Do you know who loves to tear up the zone? It's Drew Brees. Do you know who is one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time against the blitz? It's Drew Brees. In fact, in 2019, I know that's a year ago, he was the number 1 rated passer in the league against the blitz. This year, he's still top 6 in the league against the blitz. Those 10 to 15-yard in routes to Michael Thomas are going to be wide open all day long. Alvin Kamara, the short passing game, they're not going to need to run because they'll just throw the little dump offs to Kamara in space. Now, they do have some speed with Devin White, et cetera, in the secondary, but I don't think it's enough. I think that Saints defense puts the kibosh on Tom Brady this week. I like the Saints a lot, and I'm with you. I like the under 52. I don't know if everyone – I can't hear Donnie right now. I don't know if everyone else can hear Donnie.
Can you hear me now? You got me?
I can hear you now.
My bad. I'm glad you stopped it because there's some real poignant stuff about to be dropped down here. The Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? You take a look at the double losses that they had, being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers both at home, 27-24 and 27-24. In those two games, the defensive backfield against Kansas City, 456 in the air. The Rams, 376 in the air. But that's not even what I want to focus on because I think we see 5 straight victories by Tampa Bay. But sometimes you have to read in who are we beating and how are we beating them? You beat the Minnesota Vikings 26-14. That was the week where they missed 19,000 field goals, but you still got a victory. But Minnesota, again, not a very good football team. The Atlanta Falcons, you beat them 31-27, barely escaped. Not a good football team. You hammered Detroit 47-7. Detroit was basically given up and dead on arrival. You play Atlanta again, not a good football team, but you beat them good, 44-27. And you play Washington last week with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, a disaster football team. But yeah, you still end up winning that game 31-23. 2-3. You level up again in competition, and I'm not so sure that they're tough enough to win this, because that same old adage, it's so hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. I did a show early in the week. That's not actually the case. I believe in this certain instance, when it comes up where you beat a team twice and playing for a third time, you're 66% to beat them once again. So I don't know where that old notion comes up where people just seemingly pick that up. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times. It is not. And I always say the same exact thing from my childhood, from your childhood, from growing up in high school. If you beat up a kid once, don't you want to beat him up again and beat him up again and beat him up again? Why, if you beat up a kid twice, he's going to beat you the third time? When you go to your rival high school in basketball and you beat them twice in the regular season, then you have them matched up in your group conference round, you're scared they're going to beat you? No, you're like, damn, give me that team. Let's beat them for a third time. New Orleans beats them for a third time, Kyle.
Exactly, and I love that. If you beat a kid up twice, third time, that's the Brandon Gillette.
Yeah, why is he
going
to
to
beat me up again? Yeah.
Brandon Gillette, he'd come on the playground. I've already beat you up twice, dude, and he wanted to do it again. You're like, good Lord, man, I'm just trying to play basketball. All right, I'll kick your ass again, and that's what's going to happen here. The Saints are going to Brandon Gillette the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks don't play well against physical defenses, number one. And they don't play well against competent passing games. And whether you think Drew Brees is washed up or not, the fact of the matter is Thomas, a week to sort of get back into a rhythm. They have plenty of weapons. Nobody in that Tampa Bay secondary can cover Thomas or Kamara. I like New Orleans a lot this week. It's one of my favorite plays of the week. So I'll be backing the Saints, and I'm with you. I'm going to take the under. This feels like a 28-17 type of game. I don't think Tampa Bay gets over 20 points in this one. I like the under team total for Tampa Bay as well.
Fun stuff there. I do get a kick out of that, because the same way, and it's all walks of life. I just beat my boy twice in a row in Madden. Oh my God, I'm not playing you a third time. That's when everybody beats me. What are we talking about here? The best teams win. They're at home. It's not even like the deck is stacked like, hey, you won both of those games in New Orleans, but now you got to come. No. You still got to go to New Orleans and beat this football team. So I'm not buying into any of that stuff. But what a show we had for you today, huh, Kyle?